Hello, everybody. This is Tom Eckert here. You're listening to my podcast, Numerology, a GPS for the soul. This is your place to learn about the true power of numerology and how to use it to bring out the best in yourself, understand your loved ones better, take wise decisions, and prepare for your future. In other words, how to live your life aligned with your true destiny. Take your time to educate yourself and share these podcasts with your friends and family so they too can enjoy the great benefits of numerology. Enjoy! Hello everyone, and welcome to all my listeners. Today I'm super excited to talk about no other than number one, the pioneering, the self-reliant number one. But before I proceed, first of all, I want to say welcome to all the newcomers to this podcast. And if you haven't listened to my episodes before, then in this podcast, we discuss numerology as the path for inner transformation, spiritual growth, inner growth, self-understanding. And my personal groove is to try to make numerology accessible and applicable for everyday life matters, to make it grounded so that you can use it, grow with it, support yourself, support others on this pretty chaotic, interesting, fascinating journey called life. A few important things you should know before we dive any deeper into numerology. First of all, Christmas is here, and I'm giving 2 discounts for Christmas. It's valid until December 26th, 2022. The first one is that you can get 30 euros off of numerology readings with me. You can click on the link that's given on the podcast description and the episode description. Go to my website, check on the numerology readings, read a little bit more, and contact me within this time frame to get yourself the discount. A numerology reading is a real mind opener. It opens the horizons to know yourself, to get clarity, to really align with your soul's path, to understand your life's lessons on a whole deeper level. It's really facilitating deep clarity. The second thing is that I offer my online numerology course for only 79 euros instead of 279 euros. That's a whopping 200 euro discount. So really, if you want to learn numerology in a more self-paced manner on your tablet, phone, or laptop, I'm a PC guy. Yep, exposed. Then simply go to the website links provided, and on my website, go to the link for the online numerology course, and at checkout, simply use the coupon code XMAS2022. XMAS 2022, again, valid until December 26th, 2020. And if you're defining or redefining your career, and if you or simply wish to pursue numerology on a deeper level, then I want you to know that I offer a full path of certification from beginner to expert numerologist. So please check out the link in the podcast description and episode description, read more, and contact me if you want more information. Okay, my friends, having said all of that, without further ado, let us dive into number one. Number one starts off the sequence of numbers. It is the one who pierces into the new, who dares to tread where no one else did. To me, this is a number of straightforwardness, courage, integrity. Somehow, when speaking of the one, even right now, I feel like I don't want to speak much. It's rather just like a samurai with 1 or 2 sword strikes, get right to the point, right to the heart of the matter. Or like a Zen master, with 1 or 2 sentences, give a whole teaching, or like strike with a stick and go back into presence. That's part of number one's sharp, direct, decisive, and piercing spirit. Well, and despite this need to be a bit Zen-ish, in my own 7-9-ish way, for those of you who already know me, 7 and 9 are my core numbers, I'll do my best to go in depth, because that's what 7-9's like more than anything else. It's wisdom, isn't it? Okay, enough with bragging about myself and my awesome numbers. Let's get into number 1. Pioneering and ingenuity are the opening traits I want to dive into. Number 1 really sticks out with its capacity to pierce into the new, be it a new place or a new idea, a new endeavor, a new project. They have the courage to step completely out of the box and offer new pathways, carve out new pathways. They are, they love to create new paradigms for others to follow. So they are definitely out of the box thinkers. They are not limited to the status quo. They love to break out of any known, paradigms and create their own. They are natural discoverers. So Christopher Columbus, again, I don't know his numerology chart, but these people who have the courage to tread into uncharted territories are really ones in essence. They are the natural discoverers, and they love all that is new. Very often they love new beginnings. They love to kind of spark that new beginning. They're not necessarily the ones that love to carry it through, unless, again, maybe they have a 4, a 6, an 8 in their numbers to kind of help that happen. Otherwise, it'll be others doing it for them. They also love to do things their own way and not to be told what to do. So they really love to stand out, to be that pioneer, to think for themselves, to think anew in ways that others did not think. They're amazing in finding quick solutions, great at being the leader of the pack, the manager, the one who just leads the way, paves the path with a lot of ingenuity. Again, makes them really, really great for startups and stuff like that. Next thing I want to mention about number 1s is their qualities of independence and self-authority. 1s are their own authority. They're super self-autonomous and very much rely on their own inner resources, their own power, their own center, their own self, in other words. I like to point out that the solar plexus is a very central energetic center for number 1. It's the center of self, the center of will. They are made to trust themselves, to not doubt, to be unified like a number 1. In a sense, they are made to walk alone. And again, talking about independence, right? That's why they love being leaders. That's why they're pretty horrible at delegating and love to be the one in control. They are the role model of independence, of self-sufficiency and trusting one's own gut. They do what they want on their own terms, and they are very loyal to their gut feelings and wishes. It's very, very hard to, bend a 1 into something that they don't feel like doing, or that they don't believe in. They are super solid. Being so autonomous, being so independent, it ain't easy to influence a 1 or convince them to come your way or see things from a different point of view, a different perspective. Very often, by the way, being so independent, so self-reliant, they won't ask for help, even when they need it. They will continue being these independent people, even into old age, not asking for help, doing everything alone. It's very impressive. It's really, really impressive. Of course, as we'll progress and go deeper in the episode, you're going to see also the downsides or the pitfalls, the shadow. It's important to see a complete picture here. Next thing I want to talk about is decisiveness and directness as again 2 strong qualities that are really present with number 1. And of all numbers, perhaps 1 is the most decisive and the clearest when it comes to the process of decision making. And if you listen to previous episodes about other numbers, you probably, there's at every episode I get to the point where I say, of all numbers, this number is blah, 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 right? So for example, number two of all numbers is the most sensitive. But number one, really, hands down, is the most decisive, clear cut, no bullshit, just striking right to the heart of the matter. I mean, they don't look left and right. They just rather straight to the point without hesitation. Again, I mean, I love, just like looking and admiring each and every number. So to me, this is hands down very impressive. This quality, a quality of presence. They're very strong characters, to be really honest and straightforward here. They don't waste their time and are able to quickly make up their minds. Very much, by the way, not alike our friend number 2. And so if you didn't listen to number 2 and you want to know a little bit more, check out the episode. A lot to discover over there, but really very different vibration than the 1. They're so direct. In fact, they are just sometimes downright blunt and totally in your face. There's like a funny story I always love to share about my mom. Now, my mom, God bless her beautiful soul, she has 3 1s in her court chart. Now, that's pretty intense if you get where I'm heading with this. I mean, she can just visit me after a year of not seeing me, barely having any contact with me, stare at me for a moment and tell me, Tom, your hair looks ugly. Just change your haircut. It doesn't fit you. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Thanks, Mom. Yes. You know what I mean? It's so blunt. It's so in your face. But the thing is, and again, it can be perceived by people as rude or aggressive. And perhaps it is from a certain perspective, but for them, where they come from, it doesn't really come out of bad intention. It's just that they have this direct, straightforward, unfiltered, I would say, unembellished nature. They are just straightforward. They're what you see is what you get, kind of. I mean, they're actually people of integrity, I must say. Number 1 is a number of integrity. In that way, they're impressive. It's a no bullshit number. It's just a little bit lacking emotion or lubrication, if you get what I'm trying to say. Okay, now, next quality I want to talk about is their quality of individuality and independence. But before I dive into that, I want to remind you that I'm giving these 2 wonderful Christmas discounts. The first is a €30 off of numerology readings with me. Again, an incredible gift for life. And especially now that we're entering like a new year, it's a wonderful tuning and alignment that one can give to oneself. So just check the links provided in the podcast and episode description. Contact me to schedule a reading for a discount. It's valid until December 26th, 2022. The next offer is to get my numerology self-study course for €79 instead of €279, right? A huge €200 discount, a very comprehensive, wonderful course. Again, click on the links provided, go to the online numerology course page, and at checkout, simply use the coupon code XMAS2022, XMAS 2022, valid until December 26th, my friends. And last but not least, again, if you want to pursue a numerology career, I'm reminding you that I offer a full path of certification from beginner all the way to an expert numerologist. Contact me directly to know more, and in the links, you'll find all the information. So, where were we? Independence and individuality. I'm kind of like, it might sound like I'm repeating myself, but it's not really, right? So it's like, you're starting to get the vibe of the 1, I guess, at this point. But like a quality that stands out for the 1s, something you'll immediately notice, is their need to rely on themselves, define their own ways, not listen or follow others. They are really not made to work under a boss. They are the leaders. They are, the dictating voice. They are very opinionated people and often don't have room for other points of view. And in a sense, it is their destiny to follow their own lead. They're made for that. They must follow their lead. They're going to feel like, it's like, you cannot make them like disciples, you know what I mean? Like followers. They're not followers. They are the ones who to dictate where things are going. And again, as we're kind of like slowly going to move and talk about shadow, from another perspective, it's also a bit of a weakness, right? Like a kind of inability to listen to others but themselves, right? So listening is not the strong side of number one. In general, seeing others is not like a strong side of number one. They are sharp. They are really well-defined people in terms of like having like this solid spine very often, okay? And again, please remember I'm talking about like the ideal one or like the very archetypal one. We are all composed of many numbers. So naturally, even if you have a strong one, unless you have other supportive numbers, you can have numbers that like stand in contrast of opposition or weaken that kind of like strong spine. But purely speaking, number one has a very strong spine. One can say that as I said like earlier, that their solar plexus is very strong, well-defined, a strong individual, someone who knows who they are, who knows what they want to do, who knows where they want to go, who don't need others to tell them. And that makes them to a degree like lone wolves. They prefer to do it all alone. Sometimes, again, they won't ask for help even if they need it, right? As kind of we already understand. And they're really not easily influenced by others. They can meet like other authoritative people, other autonomous people that will like share like very intensely and whatever, like their own opinions. But they're not going to take it. It's like, it's not going to necessarily penetrate them or move them. They're super solid in their own individuality. And I love this word individuality because it comes from the word undivided, indivisible, individual, one who cannot be divided. Again, that's their potential. Now, going a bit more into, we're kind of slowly mentioning a bit more of the shadow, not yet fully in the depth of it. Slowly we're getting there, but like one really wants to be at the center. This is not only a shadow. In a sense, it's like they're center stage. They're the center of attention. There's no room for another. In a sense, they, in their nature, they're more self-centered, okay? They see themselves and it's harder for them to see others. They're at center stage. They are the most important person in the room. They must be the alpha. They need to have the upper hand. Their voice needs to be the loudest. This is why very often, by the way, you'll see them as stage people, as actors, as performers. They will all have strong ones. It's about me. Look at me, my thing, my say, my show. You know what I mean? That's my gig. So they have a strong presence, and I mean they're made for this. It's their destiny. They have like this charisma, this sweeping effect, right? People kind of, they want to look at them. They have like a magnetic pull, a charisma, an aura, but simultaneously a kind of blindness towards others. They're how should I say it? Like it's a bit like their way of being is like my way or the highway. You know what I mean? They don't want to discuss too much with you. They're really able to dominate a conversation very well, to lead a conversation very well. Again, to be the loudest voice in the room, but they're not good at listening. Really not good at listening. And if I didn't say that, they're not good at listening. Okay. Going a bit deeper into the shadow, let's talk about their aggressiveness and their tendency to be really inconsiderate. So, again, they have no space, for anyone but themselves. The ones tend to not see you, not see others. They only accept their way, and they tend to negate or even dismiss, anything else. For example, as a spiritual teacher, if I experienced spiritual awakening in a certain way, if I walked a certain path and understood the path to kind of like occur in a certain way, the stages of awakening, the way it's supposed to happen, it's very hard for me as a one to accept that it can happen in other ways than my own. So I will naturally be more blind, less open, less flexible in my ways, or less multidimensional in my ability to embrace like a broader perspective about spirituality, for example. And this, again, you can extrapolate from that on any other field and so on. So naturally, that makes them inconsiderate to others' needs, to others' views, and even others' feelings, right? Like they can be very dismissive, very arrogant, very belittling, highly insensitive. In general, their ways can be violent, can be aggressive, can be domineering, can be super pushy, like asserting themselves without considering anybody else, even when it's not asked for. It's like super self-imposing sometimes. And by the way, even if you're down and hurt, they can strike you right in your most hurting spot, like just like stick an arrow into the wound, simply because of their sheer blindness to emotions, and to be honest, not only to emotions, but simply to your existence as a valid living being outside their own scope of perception, right? I mean, you're just like, you're just like in grief, for somebody who just passed away that you really love, and they can just sit with you and like say, yeah, well, everybody loses, their beloveds, or everybody dies. Like completely insensitive, right? Instead of like hugging you or just like holding your hand, being supportive. That's a bit the bluntness, when their like very direct nature turns into something extremely insensitive, extremely inconsiderate, aggressive. And maybe the last thing I want to mention about like one's shadow, like the deeper shadow, is their incessant, like competing ego nature. Just like ones, for a moment here, I'm gonna be completely blunt about this one. So ones have a huge ego. Yeah. Sorry, my one friends. I mean, this is just part of reality. They're full of themselves. They always want to be better than anybody else in the room. They want to have the upper hand. They want to be the alpha. The alpha. And again, this is not limited to men. It's not to be the alpha male. It's to be the alpha, period. Or more accurately, exclamation mark. So that's why they'll compare themselves a lot with others. They will rebel against authorities or anybody who they perceive as a threat to their dominance in the room. And covertly or overtly compete for dominance. Who's the stronger? Who's got the stronger will in the room? Who's the actual leader of the pack here? Who's gonna be like the leader of this evening, of this conversation, of whatever? Who's got the bigger, you know what? So, and this isn't, again, like this is for all of us. It's for humans. Okay, I've seen many women behave this way. I've seen men behave this way. It's just regardless of gender, really. So they are fighting a lot. They're just fighting. They're competitive. They are they constantly get into arguments. They fight even when it's not needed. They just try to assert their power. Now there's I have a little reservation here. I just want to talk about the 19-1. The 19-1 is a karmic debt version of number 1. If you have the 19-1 in your core numbers, and especially in your life path number, then I recommend you listen to my episode about the karmic debt 19-1, because with that number, sometimes you will experience much more the violent tendency, the aggressive tendency, but also the weakness of number 1, like having more doubts and needing to grow out of them and through them into true self-autonomy. Important. So check it out. Now, to kind of wrap this all up, I'll say that ones are powerful, decisive, and individualistic types. They define their own path and ways and are often trailblazers. They are impressive people with a very strong will and presence. They carve out new paths for all of us, although very often it's up to others to complete the task. They are our pioneers. They are our inventors and brave discoverers. Like with all numbers, we need the ones to show us the new, show us the way, take us into undiscovered territories with courage and fearlessness, right? And as they do that, they should also remember to keep their egos in check and remember that also others exist and have the right to sound their voice. So, my dear ones, as always, I hope that this knowledge keeps on feeding your curiosity, inspiring you to go deeper into numerology and perhaps to become numerologists yourself. So, last time, reminding you, you can get a numerology reading for 30 euros off until December 26th, 2022. The links are provided. Click on them. Contact me directly to schedule the reading. You can also get my online numerology course for 79 euros instead of 279. Again, a huge discount until December 26, 2022. Click on the link, go to the numerology online course page, and at checkout, simply use the coupon code XMAS2022, XMAS2022. And, my friends, if you wish to pursue a numerology career, again, the top of the top, I'm reminding you that I offer a full path of certification from beginner to expert numerologist. Click on the link, read everything, all the details are there, and contact me directly if you want to know more. Okay, my dears, I wish you all the best wherever you are, and as always, I'll see you in the next episodes. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. If you did, and you want to go deeper into numerology, check out my website, tom-eckert.com. You can also book a numerology reading or even study numerology yourself through my courses. I'll see you in the next episode.